Can I say that cabinet members are delighted to be here at Firthmoor Community Center. When people are speaking, we do have 2 microphones, one on either side. If the members of the audience can't hear, please do say, and we'll get somebody to speak through the microphone. Can you hear me? No, Yvonne, you can't.
Not very well, no.
Right.
Because the doors are... Andy, will you shut them doors? Thank you,
I just opened the meeting by saying how pleased we are to be here at Firthmoor Community Centre, and can I thank the 3 ward councillors for the area for arranging this, and the facilities are extremely good. Obviously, we don't have microphones the same as we do have in the town hall, but I'm quite sure we can cope with that. I would like to start by going around and introducing everybody so that the members in the audience know just exactly who the ward councillors are and what their portfolios are as members of the cabinet. I'm Heather Scott and I'm leader of the council.
Hello, I'm Paul Wast, I'm Council Managing Director.
Lynn Ward, Public Services Council. Lorraine Tostevin, Councillor for Herworth and Cabinet Member for Health and Housing and Leisure.
Alan Marshall, Councillor for Malden Ward and Cabinet Member with Economic and Regeneration Portfolio.
Ian Williams, Director, Economic Growth, Neighbourhood Services.
Jonathan Dalston, Cabinet Member for Community Safety and Ward Councillor for Eastbourne.
Fix it.
Before we start, Paul Howell, Councillor for Hummersnott and Cabinet Member for Local Environment.
Charles Johnson, Councillor for Hummersnott, Deputy Leader of the Council and Cabinet Member for Resources.
Elizabeth Davison, Assistant Director for Resources.
Paul Crudas, Member for Hankin and Coniscliffe, and the portfolio of children and young people.
Suzanne Joyner, I'm the Director for Children's and Family Services.
I'm Rachel Mills, Councillor for Bridgend Faverdale and portfolio holder for adult social care.
Stephen Harker, Ward Member for Paymont and Leader of the Opposition.
Marie Curry, Councillor for North Road Ward, Leader of the Liberal Democrats.
And I'm Kevin Nicholson, Ward Member for Eastbourne and Leader of the Darlington Independent Group.
And I'm Matthew Snedker, I'm the Councillor for College Ward and Leader of the Green Group.
Thank you, everybody. Lynn, I presume we've got full attendance. I don't think we have any.
Apologies. Are there any declarations of interest? No.
We'll go on then to item 3. It's to hear representation from members of the public on items on this agenda, and we don't actually have any items for anything that is on this agenda. We have had a representation from a member of the public on an issue that's not on the agenda today, so that we will deal with it at the next meeting. All right, thank you. Item 4 is to approve the minutes of the meeting held on Tuesday the 9th of July. Can we agree that these are a correct record? Councillor Harker.
Sorry, can I ask a question on one of the minutes, please?
Yes.
It's minutes C22-4, which is about the local plan. The minute states that the reason that it was deferred was to enable further traffic modelling to be carried out for external developments, which is certainly what I heard at the meeting. The reason I'm raising it today is that I've seen minutes of a residents' meeting held, I think in Winfield, where it's been suggested by a councillor that the reason for deferring the local plan is much wider than just looking at the issues to do with that particular road, and I just wanted to confirm that this is correct and that is the sole reason that the local plan has been deferred and not for other reasons that have been suggested by a member.
Can I ask Councillor Marshall to respond to the reason for the delay.
Yeah, the reason for the delay is, as it is in the minutes, it is to do further road modelling with regards to an access to Skirningham at Springfield Park.
So just to make a point that there are some members that are not fully aware.
It does mean there are some members that are not fully aware that it is for that sole reason, because as I said, some people have been saying it is for much wider reasons than simply that.
Well, I think you've had your response, Councillor Harker, and I can assure you this is the reason. We had hoped that obviously we would have been able to come back to Cabinet earlier, but as you can understand with the resets, officers obviously have taken the opportunity to take leave as well as members have, and we do hope that we'll be able to come back in the near future, but we will keep members fully informed about when it is going to come back. Is there anything else on the minutes? Can we agree? Thank you. If we now move on to item 5, matters referred to Cabinet. There are no matters referred to Cabinet. Issues arising from Scrutiny Committee. There are no issues referred back from the Scrutiny Committee. So we now go on to item 7, key decisions for SEND. Councillor Howell. No, sorry, Councillor Credas. Sorry. It's a bit difficult on the microphone.
Thank you. Special Education Needs and Disability capital projects relate to 2 extension of 2 schools, one at Rice Car and the other at Red Hall. We want to provide there some facilities for children with disabilities, learning disabilities, that fall into the same projects. I think this is a good asset for the town and will allow us to bring some of our children who are currently transported to training facilities elsewhere to come back to town. The money is being provided by the DV. It doesn't have an impact on the NCFP. I propose that we release this money forthwith.
Are there any questions on this item? No. Can we agree? All those in favour, please show them. Thank you. Now, item 7B. We are actually going to show a video, so we will move to the side. After the video has been shown, Councillor Credas will make a comment on it. struggling with the difficulties that we had at the beginning. I think we kept losing the connection. But anyway, it worked out very well. Can I ask Paul just to speak to that, and then I will make the comments.
Yeah, as you can see, this was a project that was funded from the Futures Fund in Darlington Council. It cost £20,000 around 10 weeks with preschools involved. In proposing to do a further run and made available funds of around £200,000 so that we can spread this to some more schools. Schools that's going to be involved with Corporation Road, Firthmoor and Norwood, and we'll probably be taking one or more schools when we get the project up and running. The funding for this is available. It's come from the balance of the money from the Sale of the Arts Centre and the fields at each one school. Clearly from watching the video you can see what the value of this is to children who come from areas that are unable to provide these sort of activities. And I'd like to propose that we accept that we spend this money and set up a programme which will hopefully be boosted by funds that we'll be able to get from other sources, Arts Council and maybe Sports Council, and spread this out to 100 children across the town, giving them opportunities to do things that perhaps they wouldn't have had an opportunity to do. So I propose that we release the money for this and go forward with the project. Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions or comments on the video and the proposal? No? I think we all should agree that this is a fantastic use of that money, and the two little girls at the end when they were saying, and you could see how much confidence they had gained from the project. So I think it's a very worthwhile project, and I'm sure that we all agree that we should move forward on it. Thank you, Paul, for introducing that. Can I take it that everybody agrees with that? I think we have no comments or questions on it. Thank you.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, my conscience is mixed. I would just congratulate you, but is there any way of raising the number of children that can be involved? Because just as a music teacher, what I'm watching is fantastic, but it's something that was available to all children kind of 5, 10, 20 years ago, and I'm not taking away the fantasticness of what you've shown. I'm just wondering, I'm presuming that the answer is yes, but is that the maximum number of children that can be, the maximum number of schools that can be involved?
I think we've got the opportunity, because of the £200,000 the council put in, and showing our commitment, that we've got a good opportunity of increasing the funds by making bids to other sources of money, the Sports Council, the Arts Council, and should we get more money, we'll spread it to more children.
Okay, oh fantastic, so the idea is that you'll get the more money is for more children, not that you need more money to get it up to 100 children?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's enough money to do 100 children, and we should, if possible, be able to get some more money and we could spread it to
it's
more
something that's
children.
been massively squeezed out of schools, and nice one. That's great. Thanks for that clarification.
Okay.
Thank you, and thank you for your questions. Item number 8, review about the complaints. I think it's Charles who's going to introduce this. Charles.
Thank you, Chair. This report is to provide members with an update on the outcome of complaints which have been made and determined by the local government ombudsman and the housing ombudsman since the previous report on the 11th of December 2018. There have been 10 cases which were subject of a decision by the local government ombudsman, of which 4 cases were upheld as maladministration of justice, and 2 cases were subject to a decision by the housing ombudsman. Neither were upheld as maladministration. If anybody has any questions, I'll try and answer them.
Any questions from anybody? No? Is that agreed?
I should move the report and then you read it. Thank you.
Item number 9, you again, Charles.
Item 9, slightly more complex. This report summarises the complaints and the compliments that the council has received in 2018-19. There were a total of 825 complaints, which was a decrease from last year, and 280 compliments, which was an increase from last year. These are all detailed in the departmental reports that our cabinet members have. I won't comment on the reports particularly, they're just to advise you of the headline figures. Adult social care, they had 64 complaints. Children's social care, 67. Housing, 68. And corporate, 624. These reports, and particularly corporate complaints, will be reviewed and any action taken by the council if needed. Any questions?
Anybody have any questions or comments? No? You'd like to move it?
I'll move the report as recommended in paragraphs 9 and 10, the reasons given in paragraph 9.
Thank you. Is that agreed? Agreed, thank you. Item 10, Public Spaces Protection Order, Councillor Dunstan.
I'm not going to use the mic because it'll put me off the speakers right behind me. I will turn the chair. This report is to introduce a 6-month update for Cabinet to look at the progress that's been made with the Public Space Protection Order, which was introduced on the 1st of March 2019. I'd just like to start by saying that since this was introduced, I'm pleased with the progress that's been made and the proportionality that's been used by officers and the police when using this tool. Particularly concerns around the introduction of it was around children. We haven't penalised children. You'll see by the report that this has been proportionate. We are looking at ways to support people in our communities. However, when it doesn't go to plan, we do need another mechanism to be able to deal with certain levels of behaviour in the town centre. So what this report is outlining is that it has shown a real success, but it has been used proportionately in our communities, just to give reassurance to members of the public. I'd like to move the report.
Thank you, Councillor Dunstan. Does anybody have any questions or comments on the report? No. Is that agreed? Agreed. Thank you. Item number 11, Councillor Johnson.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Right, don't need it. It's the mic. The purpose of this report is to advise members of the changes in Regulatory of Investigative Powers Act. So it's a long-winded thing, but it allows the council to investigate certain circumstances. It was last reported on February 2018, and there has been one new offence added into the parcel, which is most relevant to the council, which is that of unlawfully obtaining communications data, and that offence applies to anybody in the public authority. To be an offence of unlawful obtaining or providing communications data, it must be done either knowingly or recklessly, for instance with obvious foreseeable consequences. Making an honest mistake, however, would not be considered an offence. Rather complicated. We all deal with communications these days, and pressing the wrong button keeps me awake at night. So, anybody, any questions?
Anybody know?
I'll move the report.
Is that agreed? Item number 12, Councillor Johnson again. It's the Councillor Johnson show this evening.
Try again. I'll have a crib sheet first. In November 2018, the Council established an investment fund to be used for innovative investment opportunities beyond the usual investment opportunities that we take. The fund was £50 million and it's been utilised as planned and includes things like joint venture schemes for house building and regeneration initiatives. It's pleasing to note that the returns on the joint venture house building scheme is anticipated to be over £4 million. The funds is currently used or completed on the following. Eastbourne house building scheme, 1.5 million. That 1.5 million has been now returned. The covered market, 1.8 million. The Modern Park, obviously left something at home, excuse me.
Tea's ready, Charles.
It was somebody from Ashford in Kent who I don't know, so there we go. Modern Park Sports Village, 2.1. I think there's a little bit of being in limbo on that one at present. Relocation of the cattle market, 3.1 million. Feetham's House, that's the offices going up in front of the new cinema, 2.6 million. West Park House Building, 12 million. Hyington House Building, 6 million. And Middleton St George House Building, 4.7 million. But that's where it is all going. There's a little bit left, I think, in the pot now, which I'll hold on to as long as I can. Can I move the report? Any questions, sorry? One question.
Yeah, on activity has been prepared to work with tenants to ensure they appreciate the work being processed. I've been approached by several people very worried indeed about the lack of tenants in the indoor market. In fact, it seems not a month goes by without another void in the indoor market, and there's a concern that whether founded or not, that tenants are being eased out the door to make way for a clean sweep by MAM. So I just wanted to see if Councillor Johnson had any reassurance for the Cabinet and the public about the way tenants are being treated and how we can keep them in that building to keep it of use to the public.
I've not had any complaints, and I do know that the tenants have been leaving the market. I don't think it's conspiracy to get them out. I'm sure that MAN, who are professional in the business, know how to attract new market stakeholders, and I think the market does need refreshing. So we really let them get on with the business. The council decided some time ago that we were not the appropriate people to manage the market, hence bringing in the professionals. I can take the question up and see if there's any substance in your complaints.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? No, if you can then move on. Item 13, Councillor Johnson again.
This report seeks to release funding previously allocated in the Capital Medium-Term Financial Plan. The plan made available £250,000 for capitalised repairs in 2019-20, of which £200,000 has already been allocated during the year. It's requested that the balance of the £50,000 which now be released for two urgent repair works, one in the Town Hall Block D, it took us a long time to find out what that was, and essential roof repairs in our well-used arts facility at the bridge. Are there any questions on it? Can I move the report?
Start agreed?
Agreed.
Would you you like some water, Charles? No, you're all right.
That's all we've got.
Item 14, Councillor Jonathan again.
Yes. We will. This report is about the borrowing and investments and cash flow of the council. And the report in itself was actually scrutinised and approved by the council's audit committee before it came to cabinet. The report focuses on the borrowing, investments and cash flow, and it's pleasing to note that the report presents circumstances very similar to 2017-18. The cost of borrowing has remained low throughout 2018-19, and short-term borrowing is anticipated to remain low for a number of years. As of the 31st of March 2019, the council's external debt was 179 million, which is 19 million from up from the previous year. The increase was merely a consequence of borrowing cheaper money to pay off some costly loans and reducing therefore our financing bill over the year by £660,000. Our investment stands at 31st of March at 56 million, which is taken into account when counting our cash flow is sustainable within the current medium-term financial plan. Are there any questions? Can I move the report?
Is that agreed?
Agreed.
Charles again,
Item 15, yes, we're going to get there, Charles.
Item 15, this report refers to the sale of a small strip of land identified as a car park at the Bongate end of Forings. That's just opposite the car park of the surgery, Blackhead surgery. And this is a small car park which is surplus to council requirements. An inquiry has been received from the owner of a nearby property who wishes to use the land as a car park in connection with their works. Coincidentally, an inquiry has also been received to acquire an area of the same car park for a small residential development. Terms have been agreed with both inquirers for development process, subject to necessary planning permission. Any questions? I move the report.
I had a question about the flooring. Would you like microphone?
No, because it's really getting to me. I've got sensitive hearing. The question is, where you say small development, can you just explain what it is, the small development that they've submitted?
I've not seen the plans, but perhaps.
It's a small residential development.
Right.
Bear in mind the size of the site.
I know it well, yeah.
It won't be overly obtrusive, I don't think. I can't give you specifics of the number of units that we're talking about here.
Right.
It's a small residential flat.
Right. The residents have actually approached me about this, and there is some concern because of the area and the way it is, and the blackets and everything overlooking each other in the garage. So if there's any information you can forward, please, I'd really appreciate it to speak with the residents. To see what their concern is. Right.
That's what we call it.
All right, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Is that agreed? I think we did agree before.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
But thank you, Councillor Allen. Membership changes. Does anybody have any membership changes?
Sure.
There you go.
Three, if I may, all Labour members, two Labour members on the Family Health Council, Crumbly and Newell, placement of the Family Placement Panel, Councillor Leighton, and the Leighton also, Councillor Leighton and Lynn has the details.
Okay. No more membership changes or anything else? Item number 17, we have no supplementary items. Item 18, questions. Yes, Councillor Medford.
At the last Cabinet meeting, I asked Councillor Marshall about the pause to local planning process, and the question was, now that it's been paused, how long would the pause last? And also, I was interested in the scope for variation of the plan while it was being paused. I believe Councillor Scott, you replied saying you didn't have information to hand, but you would write to me with that information. I contacted you a couple of days ago to remind you I hadn't received an answer yet. So in the light of still waiting for that response, I asked a question in full council about variation to the National Planning Policy Framework, which would allow us to meet our climate emergency motion. And on the 6th of August, Councillor Marshall replied that the pause in the process for approving the plan will allow time to properly assess these points. So obviously there is an opportunity to change the plan far wider than just as mentioned in the minutes from the previous meeting. So given that and our concerns, the Green Party, about the plan in general, we've produced a rebuttal report already, or a minority report about the plan. Could we have clarity about how long the pause will be and what scope of variation we have as an elected body to vary that plan now?
Yes, Councillor Marshall.
The delay is ongoing while, as I said earlier, about the road modelling is still going on. We're hoping to bring the local plan to Cabinet and to Council in December this year.
And there's still scope for changing the planning policy framework within the plan?
I know they have been looking at some changes around the environmental part of it since the climate change motion as well, and they are looking at that.
Okay, no,
they're strengthening it on those points. I haven't seen any detail.
And will those be discussed at the cross-party plan emergency group, which has been set up as part of that motion?
Yes, obviously, yes. There has to be clarity on everything.
Jolly good. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Any more questions from anybody else? No. At this part of the meeting, we normally move in exclusion of the public and the press, but we think that that's a bit mean this evening when you have come here to listen to the meeting. So what I'm suggesting is that if members can agree to the Part 3 items, but if you need to ask any questions, we would obviously have to ask the public to leave. So can I ask, do we agree the Part 3 items, and hopefully nobody has any questions, but if you do, obviously if you understand that we will have to ask the public to leave. But just as a procedural item, can we agree to the Part 3 items? Agreed. Now can I also remind members, although these papers are on white sheets and not on pink sheets, they are confidential, so please don't let them get into the public arena. I think the reason that they are on white sheets is because it's more efficient for them all to be printed in the same colour, but you really do have to be aware that they are confidential items, so please do be careful about disposing of them. Thank you very much for the attendance at the meeting. I hope the people who have attended this evening have got to feel of how the Cabinet operates, but I think you will agree from the agenda that we've got, there are lots of good things going on within the local authority, particularly the item to do the video. I think that was most encouraging and moving, and obviously all the investment that's going on in the town. So I hope that you have found it worthwhile. We are going to take the Cabinet meeting to a different part of town early in the new year, and this is the intention that probably every couple of months onwards, we will take the meetings out of the town hall so that people locally will have a better opportunity to come and listen and to actually put faces to names, because I think it's important that you do know who we are, so that if you have any problems you can contact us, as well as your ward councillors. So I really do hope you have felt it is worthwhile. Thank you once again to the Firthmoor Community Center for arranging the facilities. Thank you to Lynn for all the hard work that Lynn has done, because she was up here very early this afternoon setting everything out, and you did a splendid job with the video, Lynn. It's amazing when we're relying on IT that we very often get difficulties, you know, but well done, Lynn. Charles says I have to thank him for reading all the reports, but that's part of his job. But thank you very much indeed for your attendance.